Deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. Guys, this is a huge episode for me. I've been slightly procrastinating recording this episode because I know as soon as I say it out loud, it becomes official and it becomes real. And this is the first time I am publicly announcing this. And this has been a decision that I made back in May. So it's been quite some time because it's almost the end of the year. Thank you for being here. I'm really excited that you're here and I'm excited to announce this. Let's dive right into this episode. All right, guys. You know, some crazy stuff can go down on a bachelorette trip. We've all got stories. For me, it was deciding to uproot my life in California and move 2,500 miles to Charleston, South Carolina. Yep, I just said it. I said it out loud. I really thought I was planted for good in California. And now I'm going somewhere I didn't even know existed 6 months ago. So let's talk about change, especially if you're feeling stuck. There are a few things you might have to do. Remove some limits you've put on yourself. Dare to dream. And honestly, it helps to get a little delusional about what's possible for you. Because there could be something really, really great waiting for you on the other side of all of this. This is the Cool Down Podcast. I'm Tyler, a coach who believes you can be strong, mobile, and human all at the same time. Around here, we don't glorify burnout. We train hard, recover harder, and talk honestly about what it takes to show up fully in the gym and in life. Let's break the mold, build resilience, and breathe through the chaos. This is your moment to slow down. Welcome to the Cool Down. Guys, I am making a huge change in my life and I am moving from Southern California to Charleston, South Carolina, literally from one coast to the other once again. This is the first time I've said it publicly and it feels so good to finally tell you. What a relief. Today I wanted to share a few things with you about this whole situation though. How this idea to move across the country happened, yes, in the middle of my best friend's bachelorette trip. Why I'm making such a big change when I adore California. And finally, some thoughts on getting yourself unstuck, making big, bold, crazy decisions and stepping into something new, even when you don't have all the answers. So let's go back to May of this year. My best friend Emily's bachelorette trip in Charleston, South Carolina. And let me tell you, I fell in love with Charleston the second my plane landed, but that feeling only got stronger as the trip went on. 2 days into the trip, we went to get lunch at this restaurant called Saltwater Cowboys. If you've never been, it's right on Shem Creek in Mount Pleasant, boats everywhere, the marsh, the docks, people coming in and out of the harbor. It's such a vibe. And I remember sitting there at our table, looking out over the harbor while everyone around us was laughing, having drinks, dancing, music blasting from the boats, pulling in and out. There were yachts drifting past us, people waving, people dancing on the deck. It was just one of those moments where life felt so free, felt easy, it felt light, it felt fun. Like really, really free in a way I hadn't felt in a really long time too. And it reminded me so much of Newport Beach, sitting by the water, grabbing lunch on the harbor, that feeling of being home near the ocean, that familiar comfort mixed with something new and exciting at the same time. And I remember getting that butterfly feeling when I was sitting there, that little tingle in your chest when something just clicks. I looked over at my best friend Emily and I said, I want to live here. I really think I could live here. And then I corrected myself very shortly after and I said, give me 2 years, I'll be living here. What's funny is I actually think I'll be living there in less than a year. But anyways, because in that moment, everything suddenly made sense. My parents live on the East Coast and only live in California 5 months out of the year. I hate saying goodbye to them every 5 months. I'm getting older and I want to be closer to my family. I really do. That pull has only gotten stronger every single year. And then there's my job. Charleston is such a fitness-forward city. People are active, health-conscious, outdoorsy. I knew sitting there at the lunch table that I could actually transfer my business there, both the in-person side and my online coaching. I could pivot, restructure, and finally bring power flow with me. Of course, in that moment, my brain went straight into logistic mode. How would I transition my clients into virtual training? How would I prepare everyone for this change? Would my clients be open to it? Would I find new clients in Charleston? Would the fitness community there welcome me? And yeah, I was nervous. Still nervous. I was really overwhelmed. Still overwhelmed. Because moving across the country isn't just a vibe, it's a decision. It's a really big one. And I've done it in the past already. But I also knew if I really wanted this, I could figure it out, just like last time. I've built this business, Powerflow, from scratch, and I can do it again, and I can evolve it again. But truly, sitting there at Saltwater Cowboys, watching those boats come in, seeing the sun hit the water, hearing music and laughter all around me, something in me really shifted. And it felt like home. It felt like clarity. It felt like the next chapter, literally waiting for me to choose it. And I remember thinking, I don't want to leave here. I don't want to go home. This is where I'm supposed to be. And honestly, every single day since that trip, Charleston has been on my mind. Look, I freaking love California, if you haven't caught that already. I was born here, and I moved back after graduating college 10 years ago. I grew up visiting here multiple times a year because I have family out here. I've created a pretty sweet life out here. California has been my home in every sense of the word. I started my entire career here from the ground up. I've worked every job you can possibly imagine in the fitness world. Front desk girl, studio manager, group fitness instructor, personal trainer, head coach, the one who cleans the gym, the one who opens the gym, the one who closes it. I've literally done it all. And the entire time, no matter what job I was working, I always had Powerflow, even before it was called Powerflow. I trained clients out of their homes, in garages, in gyms, on the other side of whatever job I was clocking into. And somehow, though, through all those years, I kept those clients. I built relationships. I kept showing up. And that little side hustle turned into a full-blown business that I've now run completely on my own for the last few years. And I'm really proud of it. I grew a client roster here that I'm so proud of. The literal best clients, loyal, long-term clients who have trusted me with their health and their goals for almost a decade. I grew my skill set here. I grew my voice here. I became a real coach here. And the life I built, honestly, it's been beautiful. I did my 20s right out here in California. I soaked up every part of living here. The beach mornings, the Newport Harbor lunches, the weekend trips to San Diego, LA, Palm Springs, Vegas, you name it. I did all the group fitness classes out here, all the retreats, all the conferences. I met so many incredible people, coaches, trainers, creators, industry leaders, people I would have never crossed paths with anywhere else if I hadn't lived here. Newport Beach is a fitness hub, and I was completely immersed in it the entire time I've been here. I needed that. I needed to be surrounded by people who were better than me, smarter than me, more experienced than me. That's how I grew. That's how I grew into the trainer I am today. I made some of my best friends out here, the kind of friendships that feel like family. I went through a long-term relationship out here, and that taught me a lot about myself, love, boundaries, and who I want to be in the future. I worked hard. I played even harder. I learned a lot of lessons out here, and I collected experiences that shaped every part of who I am today. California gave me the space to evolve, personally, spiritually, and professionally. It gave me courage. It gave me the confidence. It gave me the opportunities, and it gave me the foundation I needed to eventually say, okay, I'm ready for the next thing. And that's why this decision to move is so big, because I'm not leaving a life I hated. I'm leaving a life I built, a life I love, and a life that grew me into the coach and the woman who I am today. That's huge. Listen, guys, two opposing things can exist at the same time. I can look at my time in California and truly say I've checked all the boxes I've wanted to check while I've lived out here. Like I said, I did my 20s right here. And also, something was telling me it was time to get really freaking honest with myself. And because I always want to be as real as possible with you, I've been hitting a wall lately. I don't know if it's obvious, but I've been in a cycle that doesn't serve me anymore. It doesn't mesh with the future I want to create. So let me be super honest about what that wall looks like. The cost of living in California is insane. I always joke that I've hacked the system. I'm an S corporation. Almost everything I do is a literal write-off, and yet it still feels like I'm constantly grinding. Even with passion, even with grit, even with a six-figure successful business, it's exhausting. I love my job. I love my clients, but I don't love how little free time I have to just live. I can't even remember the last time I went to the beach. and I live like 5 minutes from it. I've been in hustle mode for years, building, creating, refining, pushing, and I'm good at it. I thrive in it, but I don't want to live in survival mode forever. I want to slow down. I want to breathe. I want to date again. Maybe start a family one day. Have space to be present in my life, not just in my work. The way I built my personal training business worked for a really, really long time. In my 20s, I was hungry. I still am, but I'm 32 now. My goals are evolving. I want to buy a house. I want to build something sustainable that supports the life I want and my future family, not just the business. And while I will always be Powerflow, I'll always coach, I'll always love this industry, but I've outgrown this version of it. The systems I've used worked, but they came with a cost. And I don't know how much longer I can run full speed and still expect to feel whole. That's why this move feels right. That's why Charleston seriously feels aligned. Spending time in Charleston now, twice in the past 6 months, made it super, super clear to me that I was going to have to pluck myself out of this situation here in California, or I'd never break this cycle. Here's what you gotta know. You can love something and also be ready to let it go. You can honor the role something has had in your life and also recognize when it's not serving you anymore. Okay, want to get brave with me for a second? Okay, think about this. If there's something in your life that feels like a bottleneck in moving you towards the life that you really, really want, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a relationship, a habit, a pattern, anything that has you feeling stuck, ask yourself this question. Do I still want to be living this same life 10 years from now? That's the exact question I asked myself. Hit pause right now and envision your life if nothing changes. How does it make you feel? If the thought of being in the same place in 10 years makes you nauseous or anxious, or you can barely stand the thought of it, lean into that. I've got some really good news for you. You can make a change. You're not stuck. Let me tell you, you are not stuck. It doesn't have to be something major like a cross-country move like myself, and here I'm doing it for the second time in my adult life. You don't need to have all the answers first, and you don't need to wait until the perfect moment. Trust me. Because, babe, there isn't one. There isn't a perfect moment. If there's a whole world between where you are now and where you want to be, it's time to do something about it. That will get you one step closer to the future that you actually want to be living. Okay, you might be thinking, but Tyler, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work out? Well, guess what? It might not. It might not work out, and that's totally okay. But these moments are crucial in life. We pick up, we learn, and we move forward. Or let's just say, it might work out even better than you imagined. Look, I get it. Not everyone is as much of a wild dreamer as I am. But we have to take off some of these freaking limits we put on ourselves. Like, why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we do that? Why do we cram ourselves into these made-up boundaries about what we can and can't do? Huh? Seriously, if you're watching YouTube, I am like so animated right now. These patterns might feel safe and familiar, me in California, but they hold us back from pursuing what we really, really want, our life's purpose. And like these things we want really, really deep down. I've been here. I am here, but working my butt off to change it. And everyone I know has been in this place at some point in their life too. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something to grow from. It's something actually really cool to admit. You have to actually try before you'll know the answer. I mean, hell, I'm talking into a mic, on a camera, on a podcast. Am I a public speaker? Nope. But here I am. I'm doing it. Every single time I do it, it gets a little bit better too. Point is, I just have a message to share, and I want to reach and help as many people as I possibly can and normalize these things. So I started this podcast. I'm telling you, so many people have reached out already telling me that they are feeling in some way, shape, or form extremely similar. Trust me, you are not alone. I am telling you this, you are not alone. So anyways, I don't know anyone in Charleston, and I'm going to have to Google Map everything for a while. Okay? And what's wrong with that? Just because something is new or unknown doesn't mean you can't handle it. You know that, right? You know that. You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. We all are. So, why not dream a little? Have a healthy dose of delusion. Come on, I live in Delulu land. And even like start envisioning the life that you want to live. Just picture it. It starts with envisioning it. Like really, really picture it right now. Press pause on this podcast and just imagine. Walk through your day in your mind, how it feels. Journal on it. Put it on paper. Don't hold back. What can you do today to get a little closer to that dream of yours? Maybe do a little research and get some answers. Find out what might be out there for you. There's seriously no commitment in seeing what your options are. And you can change your mind. You're not stuck in anything. We have so much more power than we realize in our life. So again, you can change your mind at any time you want, as many times as you want. I preach that in my life and podcasts and coaching and everything along the lines of that. You don't have to stay stuck. If the ish is hitting the fan, hit back, people, hit back. Make the change. Make the change. Starting now. Starting today. You got this. Truly, babe. I believe in you. Don't you love that there's pretty much a life lesson in literally just everything? I hope you found this episode helpful. If you did, please share with a friend, post to your stories, and tag me at tylerargento.fit and at thecooldown.podcast. And I cannot tell you how much it means to me personally when you guys like, share, subscribe, all the things. It truly helps me so much. It helps this podcast have a bigger reach. If you leave a 5-star rating and review, that's even better. We are just getting started, and I love that you're along the ride with me. Thank you so much for all of your feedback. If you're listening to this podcast and it made you think about making a change in your health, your fitness, or just your overall well-being, shoot me a DM at tylerargento.fit. And we can talk about coaching together. You're not in this alone. Online group coaching or even live virtual one-on-one coaching where I'm literally training you via Zoom while you work out. There's so much accountability in that. My clients love this option so they can train with me in real time, even when I'm across the country or even when they're on a trip or anything along the lines of that. So anyways, send me a DM and I pinky promise it won't be a cringy sales conversation like you might have gotten roped into by other people. I am literally the farthest thing from stock trainer, stock, anything. It is all real over here. Okay. Anyways, I am done talking here today. I love you. I believe in you. And I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode.